Who were the Buffalo Hunters? How did they wipe out the entire Comanche Raiders out of existence? An epic series of battles between the natives and the European invaders led to a near extinction of an entire species of bisons. The 1877 Buffalo War was a shockingly unnoticed campaign conducted by buffalo hunters against the Comanches in the Texas Panhandle. The hunters, who had practically wiped out the buffalo herds, had set up trading posts in the area, which were seen as a provocation by the Comanches. In late 1876, a band of Comanches left Fort Sill and headed towards the Staked Plains, where they camped in Thompson's Canyon. In February 1877, a few young Comanche braves raided some of the hunters' camps, killing one hunter and capturing supplies. This led to a council of war among the hunters, who ultimately organized and launched a counterattack against the Comanches. Welcome to our channel, where we explore various events in history that have had a significant impact on our world. In today's video, we will be discussing the 1877 Buffalo War, also known as the Last Indian War in Texas. Before European settlers began to pour into the far west in large numbers, the Great Plains were home to an estimated 50 to 60 million buffalo. American Indians hunted them for food and other requirements, and there was a peaceful ebb and flow between man and beast. But after the Civil War, the demand for buffalo meat and hide increased, which put many a man to work as buffalo hunters. History of Buffalo Hunters. Buffalo hunters originated from Europe mostly, who hunted bison, also known as buffalo, for their hides, which were in high demand in the late 1800s. The hides were used to make leather goods such as shoes and saddles, as well as clothing and blankets. The hunters would often kill the bison indiscriminately, leaving the meat to rot on the prairie. The introduction of the railroad and the expansion of the market for bison hides led to a rapid increase in the number of buffalo hunters in the 1870s and 1880s. The large-scale hunting of bison had a devastating impact on the herds and the ecosystem they supported, as well as on the Native American tribes that relied on them for their way of life. History of Comanches. The Comanches are a Native American tribe that originated in the Great Plains region of North America. They are believed to have descended from the Shawneean group that migrated from what is now Wyoming around 1500 AD. The Comanches were nomadic people who lived by hunting buffalo and other game. They were known for their horsemanship, and they were one of the first Native American tribes to fully adopt the use of horses after they were reintroduced to the Americas by Spanish explorers. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the Comanches became one of the most powerful tribes on the Great Plains. They controlled a vast area of territory that stretched from present-day Kansas to northern Mexico. The Comanches were skilled warriors and were feared by many of the other tribes in the region. The Comanches were also known for their raids on settlers and other tribes. They were particularly feared for their ability to conduct lightning-fast raids on horseback and then disappear back into the plains. The conflict. The Comanches had lived in the area for centuries and relied on the buffalo as their main source of food and materials for their way of life. The arrival of European settlers in the 19th century led to conflict between the Comanches and the newcomers. However, as the buffalo population began to dwindle due to overhunting by European settlers and their Americanized descendants, the Comanches' way of life was threatened. The U.S. government sought to control the Comanches and their territory through treaties and military force. However, the Comanches continued to resist and fight for their land and way of life. The hunters, who had practically wiped out the buffalo herds, had set up trading posts in the area, which were seen as a provocation by the Comanches. The 1877 Buffalo War. The hunters moved to the Texas Panhandle in 1876, and traders, including Charles Rath, established posts there. Meanwhile, the Comanche Reservation was to the east, and many of the tribes had not been convinced of the white man's power after the Battle of Adobe Walls in 1874. The Comanche began raiding the buffalo hunters and their camps, hoping to drive them away from their lands. The raids were often violent, resulting in the deaths of both buffalo hunters and Comanche warriors. A band of Comanche numbering 170 warriors under Black Horse left Fort Sill in late December 1876 and headed towards the Staked Plains. They attacked the buffalo hunters' camps in the Red River country of the Texas Panhandle, killing and wounding several. They also stole horses from the camp of Pat Garrett. The buffalo hunters joined forces with Captain Nicholas Merritt Nolan and his troop of soldiers from the 10th Cavalry to seek revenge against the Comanche, who had gone beyond their legal hunting grounds. The hunters provided supplies and heavy hitting power, while Nolan's soldiers fought and provided medicine and additional supplies. The conflict escalated, and the US government eventually sent troops to the area to protect the buffalo hunters and bring an end to the raids. The troops engaged in several battles with the Comanche, including the Battle of Buffalo Wallow and the Battle of Palo Duro Canyon, both of which were decisive victories for the US forces. The war continued for several months, with both sides suffering heavy losses. In the end, the Comanche and Kiowa tribes were forced to give up their resistance and relocate to reservations. The buffalo population, which had already been decimated by hunting, declined even further as a result of the conflict, leading to the near extinction of the species in the area. In September of that year, the federal government intervened and negotiated a peace treaty between the buffalo hunters and the Comanches. The treaty established a new reservation for the Comanches and set aside land for the buffalo hunters to hunt on. The 1877 Buffalo War was a tragic event that highlighted the tension and conflict that arose as European settlers and their Americanized descendants encroached on Native American land and resources. It serves as a reminder of the importance of respecting the rights and sovereignty of indigenous peoples and the need to find ways to coexist peacefully. Thank you for watching.